Welcome to Penny for Your Shots, Conversations and Cocktails with Brilliant Women, the podcast where we uncork the stories and insights of exceptional female leaders from all walks of life. Our goal is to serve up wisdom, tips, and inspiration, and to support each other in rediscovering ourselves and what sets our souls on fire. We'll also share personal memories, paired with friends and a favorite beverage. I'm your host, Penny Fitzgerald, and I believe that the best stories are served up over a glass of wine or a cocktail. So grab a glass, get comfy, and let's pour ourselves into Penny for Your Shots. Kara Cleaver is an entrepreneur with a passion for wine. She's worked in high-tech, wine sales for a West Texas winery, wine direct sales, and she's started at least 4 businesses. She's not afraid of hard work. The day we chatted, she had just come in from working on her 26-acre ranch. There's a lot that goes into not only crafting a good wine, but also in providing an amazing experience. Kara started LaVie Estate Winery in the heart of Texas Hill Country and is committed to providing an exceptional experience for her guests. She also believes in supporting the local community and collaborates with area chefs, musicians, winemakers, and vineyard partners. You've probably heard me talk about Wine Camp. Our welcome reception will be held at LaVie on Thursday evening, September 19th. Kara is looking forward to treating you to lovely wines, magical food pairings, and a stunning Texas sunset in the hills. Spots for our weekend retreat in Texas Hill Country are going quickly, so grab your bestie and reserve yours before we're sold out. For more information or to reserve, visit pennyforyourshots.com/wine-camp. Here is Kara Cleaver. Hi, Kara.
I've been out working the ranch today, so I'm like,
Oh,
I'm in work mode.
yes. So so what does that mean, working the ranch?
I have a 26-acre property, so that when I bought it, the woman was 79, like wonderful 79, very sprite 79, but still 79, and her husband had been in memory care for a little over 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Things weren't exactly as they, kept up as they once had been, so it's a big to-do list all the time.
Of course. Yeah. Well, and even if a place is kept up, perfectly, there's still always something to do if you have a property.
Absolutely. In any property, but 26 acres is a little to that.
It's a lot. Wow. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate your time, and I know you're super busy, but I wanted to get you on the podcast because we are so excited to come visit you this fall.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
So tell us a little bit about you, first of all. Like, how did you grow up in Texas?
I did not. I grew up in Vermont, but when I had my software company, we were looking for a new home for it because it's difficult to have that business in Vermont when all my partners and all my customers were not there. So that's what originally moved me to Texas, to Frisco, actually, north of Dallas.
Wow. And you've always loved wine, right?
Worse.
That was a silly question. Very good. Well, how did you determine that you loved it so much you wanted to be in the business?
Yeah, well, as you know, I did a traveling vineyard for a little while. That was fun. And then I stopped doing that. And then I sold for a West Texas winery covering their East Texas events when I was up in the Frisco area in Dallas. So I did a lot of the festivals, the Longview longest balloon race in America, the Nacogdoches Blueberry Festival, and a bunch of stuff up there. So that was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Then I went back to traveling vineyard for a little bit, but then this is my 4th business that I've started. So one of those businesses along the way, I was in personal safety and 911 software, and I had a client that asked me to bring it inside. So I did that while my kids were in college. And I'm sitting on an airplane and found in the back of the magazine, vineyards, wineries for sale. And I was like, ooh. And I started checking it out because I had to give up selling wine when I went back to a W-2 job because there was no way to make those two things happen together with my travel schedule. So, I started researching. I researched for about 2 years before I went to see my first winery for sale. Then I did due diligence on 5 different wineries for sale and decided, nope, I guess I'm starting over again. So There we go.
Yeah. And you bought LaVie. How many years have you had it?
Yeah, no, I started LaVie from scratch. So I had actually headed west. The majority, more than 85% of Texas wine grapes actually come from the High Plains, which is West Texas, out in Lubbock, Levelland, Brownfield. Brownfield is actually the grape capital of Texas. Not a lot of wineries out there. There's more and more in Lubbock area, but not necessarily the other areas, but plenty of grapes and a lot of cotton as well. So, but once I figured out the different vineyards and winemakers that I could work with, because I craft my wines with several different winemakers, but once I figured out that that business model could work, it came all about finding the right property. So did a lot of looking at those too.
Right.
Ended up here where we are. So it's beautiful. It's up on top of a hill. It's gorgeous views and quaint little area off the beaten path. But I was all about providing the experience, developing the experience, not just being yet another winery along the wine trail.
I know. I can't wait to see it. And the pictures on your website are gorgeous. It just looks like such an inviting place, and you offer like meals and entertainment too, right?
Absolutely. Yes. We have a full kitchen, and we typically have music every Saturday and Sunday. In the summers, it's a little quieter around here because it's hot. So, so live music just on Saturdays for the summer, but September we'll be back to Saturdays and Sundays. So, yeah, and I do different dinners. I love pairings. They're my probably bigger passion than just wine. So, food and wine pairings, love it. So we do dinners and such as well.
Cool. And are you the chef?
No, I do everything in my kitchen, but I do not do, so yes, lunches and like some of the standard menus, sometimes it's me in the kitchen. But for dinners, no, I have chefs come in for that.
Nice. Wow. Okay. So how do you find partners for your meals and for your like your entertainment? Who are you working with down there?
Yeah. So, entertainment, well, first of all, while I was looking at properties and wineries and such for sale, I traveled around with a notebook always, and I wrote down everything I loved and everything I didn't love.
Brilliant.
And I tried to work as much of that in possible. I also started meeting musicians, of course, along the way, traveling to this area. So I would keep track of those as well. So I started when I opened November of 21. So I started out with some musicians I wanted to bring out, and they actually, some of those have been with me from the beginning. So and musicians come out of the woodwork, I have to say. So anytime I put out social media posts, I get a flood of messages from musicians and phone calls and whatnot, people wanting to play out here. So that part has not been challenging, but it is a small space. Meals, I had a full-time chef initially for a while, and then we kind of wanted to pursue different things. So I moved to more of a visiting chef model. Being here now for 3.5 years, I've met some wonderful people along the way, I have to say. And a lot of the wineries have industry nights, and that gives you opportunity to meet more people as well. So I've come across my chefs that way for the most part, or word of mouth, and I've had some amazing chefs and food. Man,
I bet. I bet. Well, and having a traveling chef, it kind of allows you to taste new things and for your customers and guests to kind of experience different cuisines and that sort of thing too. I'm guessing that would be super fun.
Absolutely. It is.
Yeah. Nice. Tell us about your wines.
Yeah. So my wines are all Texas. So they're definitely all Texas grapes. I craft my wines with several different winemakers. So I'm not a winemaker. I don't want to be responsible for what happens or doesn't happen in the tanks and barrels. I'm not a expert, but I also don't want to just put my label on somebody else's wine. So I have found several winemakers that allow me to craft wines with them. So that's been wonderful because it gives me the opportunity to It's definitely a collaboration. I learned so much from them. We have wines of different styles in the winery, and it's also enabled me to have a really good product from day one. Most wineries starting out their first few vintages are just not very good.
No, it's hard. It's a
Yeah.
hard business. Yeah. And, a lot of people don't realize that if you were to start a vineyard, it takes at least 3 years to produce anything that you can harvest. And then
Mhm.
for those grapes to really, become producing enough to make wine out of and to get a
Right.
good quality product, it takes a lot of time
Absolutely.
and a lot of finesse in the winery as well. It's a
Absolutely.
long process, but wow, it just makes sense to have a collaboration or have several collaborations with experts and to be able to put your stamp on it and to use your palette and find what you
Mhm.
like. Very nice. You recommended to me the Mourvedre, and
Mhm.
I love it. It's very, very nice.
It's good for summer too, because a little bit lighter
Yeah.
body for summer.
Yeah. Chill it just a wee bit and put it with some food or not.
Right? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very good. Is that your favorite?
Um, my favorite wine kind of really depends on my mood, the
Mhm.
weather, if I'm eating something, of
Right.
course. But I don't know. I guess I break it down. My go-to white, I would say at this point, is probably my Trebbiano if I'm in the white mood or
Uh-huh.
just sitting with a glass of wine. My favorite wine to play with right now with food is my Pickardin. That's a rare
Oh.
grape. Nearly went extinct. It originated out of the Rhone Valley, but it's kind of
Mm.
making a comeback in Texas, and it's so fun to play with. It likes anything real flavorful, real savory, even things you might typically put with red, like chili or barbecue. So
Mm.
it's a lot of fun to play with. Um,
Nice.
and I'd say my favorite red was my S'more blend, but it's sold out
Mm.
now. Primarily a Sangiovese Montepulciano blend. It was fabulous. So I would say right now, I definitely love Cab Sauves, but they're not really a Texas friendly grape. They're more of a cool
Mm.
climate grape. You can do
Mhm.
them here, but it's a labor of love. It's very intensive. Um, so I would say Tanat. Tanat is a lot of fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
And a very
So
healthy grape. It's got a lot of resveratrol and all of the antioxidants.
yeah,
So
yeah,
nice.
yeah. That's a grape I think I actually discovered while I was doing traveling vineyard. I wasn't really
Oh,
familiar with that grape before, but it happens to do very well in Texas.
yeah,
Uh,
good.
I've enjoyed it ever since then. So
Yeah, I feel like Traveling Vineyard exposed us to a lot of new things, and we learned a lot about wine along the way, and can
mhm,
take that knowledge and expand on it now. So it's great.
certainly.
Okay, so your location, you are between Blanco and Fredericksburg, correct?
Yes, there's a little tiny town Stonewall in between there. Named
Okay.
after Stonewall Jackson, but also LBJ Luther Johnson had her ranch there, and part of the LBJ ranch is
How
and
fun.
right there. So yeah.
Lots of history in your area for those of us coming in. If I think there are some people that are coming in a little bit early or staying a little bit late, so there are lots of things to
Hmm.
explore. Um,
Absolutely. A
other,
lot of people have no idea that Texas Hill Country is a thing. They come here for
yeah.
the first time and they're like, we thought all of Texas was flat and dry and red dirt and hot. Oh, we do have the heat for sure, but it is very hilly and full of trees and everything here. So it'll be different for people who haven't experienced Texas Hill
Yeah,
Country.
I can't wait. And there are lots of wineries nearby as well, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So certainly Fredericksburg is kind of the wine capital or winery capital, I should say,
Uh-huh.
of Texas. But there are several different Texas wine trails. That's the main one, and that's been expanding and growing um, just dramatically. Texas is now the number 4 wine region in the country, kind of poised to take over number 3 here pretty quick.
Wow, nice.
So yeah, so a lot of wineries going in. 290 Highway 290 is the main
Hmm.
trail, and I'm off of 290.
Okay,
Um, so yeah.
nice. And I heard I have not experienced all of Texas Hill Country yet, so I can't wait for September. But um, I have tasted some of the wines, and I'm really impressed. Very similar, in my opinion, and maybe you help me out here if I'm wrong, but very similar to what like Italian Tuscan wines, and also Spanish, like Tempranillo. It reminds me very much of that style of wine.
Southern European, for sure.
Yeah, nice.
Yep. Those are the grapes that grow best here. So it's interesting because a lot of people that come through this area that are really primarily familiar with California wines, they don't recognize the name of our grapes necessarily. And, so it's fun. I mean, that's one of my favorite parts of this business is helping people discover new wines and learn about different wines and discover something that they can enjoy.
Very food friendly wines.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which
Nice.
is pairing well.
Yeah, exactly. Those of us that love to, well, who doesn't love to eat and drink wine while you're doing it? Super fun. And with girlfriends, and there might be some chocolate along the way too. So super fun. Wine Camp. It's a thing, y'all. Don't miss your chance to join us in Texas Hill Country this fall. Prices go up on July 1st, so grab your bestie and secure your spots today. You can find more information and register at pennyforyourshots.com/wine-camp. We'll be tasting wine at multiple vineyards, making craft cocktails together, checking out a brewery, and doing some shopping in Fredericksburg. And we're finishing up our time together with a hoedown in an Old West town with Pistol Pack and Paula. There'll be a few other surprises, and you won't want to miss a minute. The events happen September 19th through the 21st. Check out all the information at pennyforyourshots.com/wine-camp. And if you have any questions, reach out to me at pennyforyourshots.com or on social media. It's going to be a blast, and I can't wait to say a toast with you in person this fall, y'all. See you there. Nice. Okay, so what is your favorite part of your business? What do you love the best?
I think what I love the best is I love it when people come in that are new to wine. I mean, I had a couple. There was a Airbnb right next door, and I do a thing with them, a promotional thing with them, and so they get a buy one get one free tasting, percentage off bottles, and all that. So this couple came in, and they had literally never tried wine before.
Wow.
So a lot of fun to show them. And, of course, first timers usually want to go for something sweet, but I could show them, pull some things out of my kitchen and show them, how the magic changes for the food and how they could enjoy some other wine. So it was a lot of fun. And then I also happened to run into them at, our little, we call it our little neighborhood Cheers down the road. And we chatted forever, and then they went back to Houston and they ordered more of my wine online. Like, they just absolutely loved it. So I love whether they're new to wine, helping them experience it, or just learn a new wine that which happens a lot, like I said, because they don't always recognize the grapes that are here if they're only familiar with California wines. So helping them discover other wines that they can enjoy, and most definitely the food and wine pairings.
Yeah.
Love pairings. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, because you're right. It does. It completely changes the way the wine tastes, the way the food tastes. When you have that right pairing together, it's just magic.
That's exactly what I say. Yes. So showing people how to do, how to taste properly and do like a food pairing. And just, a lot of the people have not experienced that before. So, so I absolutely love that. That's a lot of fun. So
nice.
I have a rule, so I can't only, craft wines to my palate. I'd miss half the population, so I can't do that. But I do have a rule that if I can't pair the wine and drink the whole bottle, then it doesn't get my label. So I at least have to be able to discover the magic. And that's also a lot of fun. I can use myself as an example, and I show people that they can love a wine that they might not otherwise love, and it's paired properly with the right food. So that's a lot of fun.
That's true. Wow, great. Okay, so I'm sure being in this fun industry that you're in, you have some fun stories that you've experienced or shared with friends over a good glass of wine.
There's some interesting stories. So had a gentleman come in. He's lived all over the world, truly. I think he's originally from Switzerland.
Mhm.
His son lives in Austin and was getting married, so he was in for the wedding. He currently resides by Lake Como in Italy. Gorgeous.
Oh, wow.
So he happened to stumble by the winery and absolutely loved the wines. And then, we did a little cheese tray and cheese pairing with it, and fell in love with the mustard. He's like, how do you get the mustard right? Nobody gets the mustard right, but this is like European. And it was
Nice.
really, and he ended up staying literally like all day. And he got here, I should say, shortly after opening, and left at closing. Several
It can
bottles.
happen.
He just chatted the entire time, and I mean, he's very, very knowledgeable about wine and food, and so that was a lot of fun.
Nice.
It gets you a little intimidated.
Yeah, it can be.
No, it was great. So yeah, that's a fun story. Another fun story I would say is kind of probably maybe like 9 months after I opened, a couple came in and they told me they were industry, because most people around here do free tastings or free glass of wine for industry and do industry discounts and such. And we have different industry nights as well and such. So that's a lot of fun. But they had told me that he was industry, but not a lot about it. So we went through and did a tasting, and then they sat down and had glasses of wine and such, and they called me over and they're like, now tell me again about how you craft the wines. And so it was very interesting. And I always tell people, I'm like, oh, I'm not a winemaker, I'm not a chemistry expert, I'm not a winemaker, but I like to be involved. I like to craft with a winemaker and collaborate. And it was wonderful. Like, he was like, it turns out he's a winemaker at another winery in about an hour from here. And he was like, no, do not sell yourself short, because he's like, I've tasted through all the wines that particular place that I crafted those with. He's like, I've tasted through all the wines, and while they're good, yours are exceptional. So do not sell yourself short. And I was
nice.
Like, that was fun, just like 9 months in. So that was a lot of fun. And
nice.
They remain members, wine club members to this day. So
nice. Wow. Yeah. Another winemaker is on your monthly. Oh, that's very cool. That tells you something, and that's got to feel so good.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah. So, okay. So if you could travel anywhere outside, if you had some time off, which I know probably doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't.
No. But if you could travel, where would you go?
Well, it depends if I was trying to go someplace new, because I do try to do that.
Uh-huh.
Or I was returning to a place I love, because I absolutely love Italy, and I have not explored all of Italy. So yeah, I would go to Italy anytime. I've been there several times. So I have a lot of places on my bucket list. Really want to go to New Zealand. Really want to Alaska. Portugal definitely is on there. So I don't know. Italy's always.
Yes, I went with the Traveling Vineyard in 2008. That's a long time ago. And I've always wanted to go back. And turns out I am going back in like 2 weeks.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And you mentioned Lake Como. That's where we're going.
Oh,
it's so excited.
Have you been to Lake Como before?
No.
Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I can't wait.
A trip, and we actually flew into Zurich. And the thing I had booked is we were flying in and out of Zurich. Mm-hmm. So I had booked the hotel the night before we came back, because we had a very early morning flight. And then I had also booked our dinner at one of the first fondue restaurants in Switzerland for the night before we came back also. But otherwise, we rented a car, and the weather forecast is not great for the time of year that we were going to be there. But we're like, that's okay. We don't care. We're going, and we'll just drive. And if the weather's poor, we'll just drive. So yes, we arrived in the pouring down rain. So we just immediately started driving south to Italy and went to Lake Como and stayed there for the first couple of days. Oh my God, absolutely beautiful! Like coming in from the Swiss Alps, and Beautiful, beautiful.
Wow. I
Yeah,
can't wait. Yeah, we're going into Milan and spending most of our time there.
we
But then
did
we
Milan also, and
yeah. Oh gosh, I can't
got
wait.
to Genoa, got down to Genoa,
Yes.
was beautiful as well.
Mm.
And then we drove across Italy, up into the French Alps. I would say over, but we did not go over. We went through because we did the tunnel, Mont Blanc, and back into Geneva in Switzerland and a few places
Wow.
there, and then back up to Zurich. It was a wonderful, wonderful
Oh
trip.
my
So,
gosh. Yeah, that
yeah,
sounds amazing. And so you would be going through like Piedmont and having hopefully some nice Pinot Grigio and Barolo Barbaresco.
yes, we did.
Oh,
We enjoyed some wine. It was lovely.
yes. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah, yes, the Italian varietals always tend to have my heart for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and your wines are similar. I mean, they're very, you have some Sangiovese as well,
I,
right?
I do. Yep.
Very nice. Yeah, I cannot wait. Okay, so September 19th through the 21st. We'll be at your
Yeah.
place on the 19th.
Yes. We're
Can't
glad to have
wait.
you.
Yes, we're excited to be there. So yeah, and we're registrations are still open and available until we sell out, and we're sneaking up on it. So
Good.
for people listening, make sure you get your registration and grab your bestie and get signed up before it's too late.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Is there anything I haven't asked you that you wanted to share?
Hmm. For people who are thinking about doing a winery, because I would,
Yes.
you gotta, there are a lot of different ways to do a winery without having to do everything. Because certainly looking at, doing due diligence on 5 wineries for sale, I think a lot of people get into the winery business thinking this is going to be great for retirement, and they don't realize how much it is. Yes, it's fun, but it is a lot of work too. So, and you have different expertise, right? So, I mean, the grapes, that's not always for everyone. And there's ways to be involved with it without having to have your own. So, the grapes, that is all ag, that is all farming. Winemaking is a lot of chemistry, a lot.
Yes.
There's art and science there for sure, but it's a lot of chemistry. So, and then the winery itself, yeah, it's a lot of fun, but it is hospitality and it is retail. Some people they get into it for one of those areas,
Mhm.
perhaps not necessarily all four. So, but there are, have no fear because there are other ways to accomplish your goals. Um, it's a lot of fun. It is busy. There's always stuff to do. Always, always, always. So, but it's a great opportunity to just get involved in your community. I do a lot of different things with the community as well. Everybody wants wine. I partner with a few restaurants at the end of July. I've always done my pairing dinners here at my place, but we're actually doing it at a restaurant at Uptown Blanco in Blanco. And so it'll be their chef, but my wines this time. So that'll be fun. There's just a lot of camaraderie, I guess. And one of the big things, like I said in the beginning, I was all about creating the experience. And I have definitely held true to that. So, it takes a little work to get people off of 290 and off the beaten path. But once they're here, they typically love it. It's quaint, it's rustic, it has one of the best views around. It sits on top of the hill. And people love it a lot. Makes me very happy that a lot of people have met some of their very best friends here and who they hang out with all the time. People, when they come to dinner, are a little surprised at first because we do a lot of things seating wise, family style, not serving wise, but family style. So it's small. It fits 50 seated, believe it or not, in there, but you don't have your table for 2 and your table for 4 if that's what you came with necessarily. There's a few tables for 8 and a couple of 4s and some other things. So but once people have experienced that, they love it. So that's a lot of fun. I've very much enjoyed bringing people together and creating community. So we now
That's
do a
great.
locals night actually. So we started last September and that's grown to, we have about 100 people. We throw open the doors and windows, have music outside. It's usually the first Wednesday of the month and it's in the evening, which I'm not usually open Wednesdays nor in the evenings. So it's just a different time to experience the winery. And that has become very, very, very popular. So
I'm sure. What a great way to meet your neighbors and other wine lovers and new
right.
friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
Many a friendship is formed over a glass of wine.
indeed. Yes.
Yes. Well, and the collaborations, it's important. I feel like in any industry,
Mm-hmm.
it's just important to have relationships and to collaborate with other people who are experts in their field.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, and I think I think you're right. A lot of people they think of what you see in the movies. When you think
Right.
about winemaking, it seems like such a romantic process, and oh, it's so artful and gorgeous, and then the chemistry. It's
Mm-hmm.
more science than but there is a lot, of course, a lot of finesse and artistry to it too, but you got to have the basis right. The science, the chemistry has to be correct or it's dangerous.
Right. Right. No, there's definitely a lot of art involved too. And that's one of the things that has been the best with collaborating with different winemakers is the process I think that works the best is when you let the grapes talk to you instead of trying to force them
Yes.
to do something you want them to do. So every year the vintage is it's different. The grapes are different, and so what is it? How much water do we have? How much sun, whatever, and just letting the grapes talk to you and deciding what to do with them is most definitely part of the art and science, both figuring out when to harvest those grapes to let them speak and sing their best. So I've really enjoyed that. That's not my expertise, but I love collaborating with the winemakers because it really starts there, and then where we take that wine becomes very interesting. So
Nice. Well, and you have a good palate, so you know what's good and what's not, and you can
right.
help adjust things along the way, and also do the food pairings that you do so well.
Absolutely.
So fun. Wonderful. Well, Kara, thank you so much. This has been a wonderful conversation, and I'm so looking forward to sharing your property and the wines with our group.
Yes, and we are looking forward to welcoming you to Texas and Texas wines.
Very good. Yeah, and I will include the links to your website and to your wines in case people want to check them out beforehand, because I did.
Perfect.
They are fabulous.
All right, sounds great.
Awesome. Thanks, Kara.
All right, thank you.
Don't work too hard.
All right.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's a wrap on another spirited episode of Penny for Your Shots, conversations and cocktails with brilliant women. I hope you've enjoyed the intoxicating blend of wisdom, wit, and wonder that these incredible women bring to the table. Check out the show notes for links to resources referenced in today's episode. And remember to subscribe and raise a glass with me every Thirsty Thursday as we continue to serve up inspiration, celebrate resilience, and reignite the passions that set our souls on fire. If you've loved what you've heard, please share the podcast far and wide, and leave a sparkling 5-star review to let me know your thoughts. It would also help tremendously if you would visit pennyforyourshots.com and subscribe to learn when new episodes are available and pick up my free recipe. In the meantime, remember that your story deserves to be served and savored. Cheers to your brilliance and of women everywhere. Until next time, keep sipping and experiencing life's extraordinary moments. This is Penny for Your Shots, signing off with a clink and a toast to us. Cheers.